Hey guys, so today I got to see Saw X. Now, I'm gonna start this off by saying I haven't reviewed the other Saw movies on this channel. I do plan to, but just so you get a feeling of where I am with the Saw series, I'm going to briefly explain my thoughts on all of them. So the first two are easily the two best ones. I really, really love the first Saw and the second Saw. I think those two are definitely the two best ones. Saw 3 is okay. Like, it's not as good as the first two, but it's all right. Like, it's still watchable. Like, it's still one that I could watch and enjoy. Saw 4 is, I don't know. I don't really have much to say about Saw 4 at all. Like, it's just, I'm not huge on it. Um, I mean, it has some good moments in it, but I don't know if it's just because of the previous times that I've watched it, but I wasn't feeling it. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it, and maybe my opinion will change, but as of right now, I'm not too big on it. Then with Saw 5, I didn't like that one. I thought that one was kind of boring. There are a couple of decent moments in it, but I think it's just kind of boring. It just wasn't really for me. Saw 6 is definitely up to par with Saw 1 and 2. I really love Saw 6. It has some great gore, and it's just really fun. Alrighty. Saw 3D. Saw 3D is garbage. It's cheap, it's silly, it's fucking horrible. But it has some really good kills and some really gory kills. That's the only good thing about it. I don't give a shit about anything else about it. So fuck that. Jigsaw was okay. I'd probably put it on par with Saw 3. Like, it's not as good as some of the others, but it's watchable and I can watch it and have a good time with it. And then Spiral was fine, I guess. It, I know it's supposed to be a Saw copycat movie, but yeah, I didn't really feel too much like Saw aside from like the traps and the pig face. But aside from that, I don't know. Spiral was okay, I guess. So there's all my thoughts on the previous Saw movies. Now we got Saw X. This one takes place right after the events of Saw 1, but before Saw 2. Now, I really, really like this one. I thought that this one was great. Um, it has some great gore and some really, really cool traps. And let me just get off by saying the acting is great. I think that's a given. The acting in the movie is great from Tobin Bell, who is like 70 something years old now. He's still fucking fantastic as ever. Everyone else in the movie was really good too. And the traps were used really well. There's one, you see it in the poster. It's like a eye suction trap. That was really cool. And there's one that involves a guy who has to cut out his brain matter, or else this thing will basically electrocute his face. And there's one that involves someone having to cut off their leg and then they get their head cut off. It's wild. There's some really cool traps in here and some really crazy gore. So this one, the gore is great, and the thing I like the most about it is that this one is very story driven about how he had to have like his surgery in Mexico. That is what had me interested the most in it. It's not like another throwaway Saw 3D movie where it's just a bunch of gore and a meaningless plot that's thrown together to make a cheap cash grab. No, this one actually has meaning and fits into the franchise. That's what I really liked. Now, there is one more thing. This is not a negative. I just want to get that out of the way, but it is somewhat of a spoiler. It's not like a massive spoiler, but it is somewhat of a spoiler. So, Spoiler warning if you don't want to be spoiled, which I do highly recommend seeing this movie. It's playing in theaters right now. So I highly recommend going and seeing it, especially if you're a big Saw fan like I am. So they go a certain direction with this movie where they try and turn John Kramer into an anti-hero instead of like being actually evil like he's known to be. And from what I've heard from a lot of people after I watched this movie, I went online, I read some reviews, and I saw a lot of people actually like that idea. And for me, it was right on the border for me. Like, I don't know if it's just me and how used I am to seeing John Kramer just torture people in evil ways, but it just seems weird to kind of make him an antihero. I know this takes place right after the first Saw, but I don't know. I like the idea and I like where they went, and you do actually feel some sort of sympathy, but like I said, it just seems a little weird to go this direction after we've come all this ways. But gotta keep in mind, this one just takes place right after the first Saw. So anyway, that was the mild spoiler that I had. But overall, I had a great time with Saw X. If you're a fan of the Saw franchise, if you've been tired of shit like Saw 5 or Saw 3D, this is going to be a great refresher back into the franchise with great gore and really good story driven plot and the great acting you've known to love. So, anyway, that's my review of Saw X. Go see it. It's currently playing in theaters. If you've seen it already, leave a comment telling me your thoughts on the film and subscribe to me to see more horror and thriller reviews.